in last slides we discussed about that why is it important to separate religion from the state. So the majority could quite easily prevent minorities from practicing their religions, and any form of domination based on religion is the violation of the rights that a democratic society guarantees to each and every citizen. Therefore, the tyranny of the majority and the violation of fundamental rights that can result is one reason why it is important to separate the state and religion in democratic societies. Now, in this slide, we will see that what is Indian secularism. The Indian Constitution mandates that the Indian state be secular. And according to the Constitution, only a secular state can realize its objective to ensure the following. Only the secular state following these objectives. Number one, that one religious community does not dominate others. Number two, that some members do not dominate other members of the same religious community. Number three, that the state does not enforce any particular religion or nor take away the religious freedom of individuals. So, state cannot promote any particular religion. Here, the Indian state works in various ways of prevent the above domination. First, it uses a strategy of distancing itself from religion. The Indian state is not ruled by a religious group, and nor does it support any one religion. In India, government spaces like law courts, police stations, government schools and offices are not supposed to display or promote any one religion. In coming slides, we will understand this with two examples that in government high schools, and we will see that example in next slides. Thank you. Today we will see some examples of Indian secularism. And as you all know that if any country declares itself as a secular country, that it means that country cannot promote any single religion or cannot support any particular religion. In any secular country, one religious community cannot dominate other religious community, right? So we will see in next slide that how it is also prohibited in any government school to celebrate any particular religious festival or any religious function. In this slide, you will see that one student is talking to her teacher about celebration. She is saying, "Sir, there is a big religious festival next month. We have never celebrated it in a school. Can we do it this year?" So her sir answered her, "I am afraid that isn't possible, Rekha. This is a government school. We cannot give importance to any one religion. Private schools may do that. Government schools don't celebrate any religious festival in the school premises. Most religious festivals are a public holiday, so that we can celebrate and these at home. It means any government school cannot celebrate any religious festival, but private school can do that. But they will celebrate national festival like Republic Day, Gandhi Jayanti, Teachers Day, Independence Day. These type of festivals government schools celebrate in their schools." So these two students are talking to each other that I never thought of it this way. I guess we can always celebrate it outside school. Anyway, we were planning to celebrate it in our locality. So they decide to celebrate the religious function in their own locality. So in the above storyboard, the celebration of the religious festival within the school would have been a violation of the government policy of treating all religions equally. Government schools cannot promote any one religion, either in their morning prayers or through religious celebrations. In this slide, we will see the another example that if any sick person is not wear helmet, then Indian government will not punish them, because India respect all religious custom of any religion. Children, in this slide we will see the views of both the examples 1 and 2. The celebration of the religious festival within the school would have a violation of government's policy of treating all religions equally. Government school cannot promote any one religion either in their morning prayers or through religious celebrations. This rule does not apply to private schools. It means private school can promote any one religion. So we can see in our country we have many Hindu schools, Hindu colleges, Muslim schools, Muslim colleges, Christian schools. Many we have in our country. In Udaipur also we have many examples like St. Mary, St. Paul's. These are the Christian schools, right? So they are promoting their religion and it's not prohibited. Then in Indian state recognizes that wearing a pagdi is central to a Sikh's religious practice, and in order not to interfere with this, allows an exception in the law. So in Indian constitution, it's in the law, it is exceptional for them not to wear helmet if they are driving a scooter. In next slide, here you will see some points in Indian constitution. The Indian constitution bans untouchability. In this instance, the state is intervening in religion in order to end a social practice that it believes discriminates and excludes and that violates the fundamental rights of lower caste who are citizens of this country. Children, here we will see that sometimes according to necessity of the country, government can intervene in religious issues. For example, if in Hindus, if upper caste people discriminate lower caste people, then government will interfere or punish these kind of people. Similarly, to ensure that laws relating to equal inheritance rights are respected.